YouTube, what's going on? I'm right back at you with another one. Now, we all heard about the story with Bobby Brown getting snatched up by the preacher crew. If you didn't, well, that's cool. But a lot of people don't talk about the person, the actual kingpin that Bobby Brown owed. Now, if you don't know about Bobby and Whitney, well, back in the day, they liked to party. Bobby Brown partied real hard. He would mess up a lot of business involving his music career because of drugs. Now, Bobby Brown was the type of celebrity that was always in the hood. Some celebrities would get people to go to the hood to cop some work for them. Well, Bobby Brown would go himself. He stayed in the trenches, and he was damn sure good in the hood. A lot of people had love for Bobby, but there's times he would get involved with some dangerous men. During the time Bobby and Whitney had a nice crib out in Jersey, Bobby wanted his fix. He wanted some good work. And who to go to no other than the king of the boardwalk, Midget Molly. This guy was making hundreds of thousands, wearing expensive suits, gold rope chains around his neck, 4-finger rings, riding around in exotic cars. This man even walked around with a crown on top of his head, so you know not to play with this guy, ego. It's alleged that the crown was $1.5 million, but I don't believe it. Anyway, Bobby wanted a key, and of course, Midget Molly served him a key. It was the front, of course. He's Bobby Brown. You would think he'll be good for it, right? Wrong. Months go by, and Bobby Brown didn't have nothing for them. And no one knows if Bobby Brown even had any intentions on paying them. But he damn sure wasn't in a rush. I don't think anyone will forget that they borrowed a whole key from someone. But one night, a couple members of the preacher crew would be out Jersey partying. And you know it was some players in the spot. They ended up kicking it with some Jersey dudes. Midget Molly was in the building, and both crews was, drinking, politicking, falling back. But them dudes from Jersey mentioned how they had some smoke with Bobby Brown due to him running off with a whole key, which was $25K during the time. One of the men from the preacher crew saw them nice lick. You know them dudes wanted a reason to take something. They gave up $10K and told them not to worry about it. I mean, of course, they didn't have to worry. They just got paid. But whoever came up with the strategy was smart because they knew exactly where Bobby Brown was. Yeah, they knew a spot that Bobby Brown would play like every night. So, they knew they would get 10 times more than the 10K they just gave up. Now, I don't know why people choose not to acknowledge how strategic the preacher crew were. And it gets overlooked, the patience to just sit on the target, studying their moves, knowing the right time to strike. Now, I'm surprised these dudes weren't playing in heists and taking down banks. But these men understood the art of war, hitting a man where it hurts. We saw it with Rich Porter. Now, I'm not agreeing or glorifying, but these were some bad dudes. The kidnapping was a 2-day process. The best way to catch prey is to play on the weakness of a target. When you watch someone for a while, you'll notice their habits. Now, if you don't know by now, Bobby Brown couldn't keep it in his pants. He had like 3 baby moms when he was a teenager. Now, I might be exaggerating, but it was somewhere close to that. The preacher crew used the dime piece to bait him. In today's time, we hear stories about females backdooring men all the time. But this was back in the day, 80s to be exact. The first night in the club, the dime piece couldn't get close to Bobby Brown. But the next night, he was in the same club, and of course, they doubled back. But this time, it wasn't going to miss. I'm pretty sure they had a plan B. They was going to snatch him up anyway. But they sent the broad back into the club, and Bobby Brown took the bait. Now, the female managed to get him outside the club alone, and that's when the crew snatched him up. They had Bobby tied up in an apartment building. Now, you don't know how many bodies they took down in that joint already, but if they didn't get that money, I don't think Bobby would be here today, to keep it 100. These were some serious men. Now, I don't know about him, but they knew Whitney was worth a couple million. All he had to do was get in contact with her. Now, we all know Malik. Malik tortured him and everything. He didn't even have to do all that. The money was coming and he knew that. He just had a fascination of torturing people. He tried to even get Bobby Brown to sing a song and everything. Yo, this man was burnt the out. But eventually, Whitney pulled up with $400,000 in the bag. And of course, she didn't get the cops involved. She entered the apartment building full of savages to get her man back. Now, let's take time out to shout out all the loyal females, because at the end of the day, they're the ones that's going to take care of you when you really need it, no matter what. These fake homies ain't going to look out for you when you down. We all saw it with Rich Porter's situation. So shout out to all the moms, the sisters, the baby moms, and wives. But anyway, that was a crazy come up. They turned 10,000 into 400,000. Now, and after that score, I bet their confidence was sky high. And of course, that wouldn't be the last lick they would ever attempt. It's just like coming up a couple thousand at the casino. You think you could go back and do it again and again. It's that high that's hard to come down from. Preacher had some vicious dudes around him, willing to crash out for him at any moment. Like, come on now, who's going to war with that? Who have time for that? You didn't want them dudes knocking at your door. They already had to drop on most of the dealers out there back in the day. They ran a lot of guys out of town, and to keep it 100, that probably was the best bet for them. It wasn't anything personal either, it was strictly business. Preacher made way more off of extortion than he did selling anything. You had guys out there scared to do business with Preacher, like, come on now. Yeah, Preacher was even trying to cop half a brick from Alpo. You think Alpo was gonna do business with Preacher? Poe made some excuse on why he didn't, like why it didn't happen, but he wasn't getting involved with Preacher. I wouldn't get involved with Preacher. Now watch all the gangsters on here say, oh, you scared. but does fear really exist in business? If I'm trying to keep my business sucker free, is that fear or just a smart business move? But I don't want to bore y'all and keep y'all here any longer. Don't forget to click the like button, comment on the video for sure. If you're new, subscribe for good content. Check out my playlist, and y'all be safe out here. Thanks for watching.